It's a quiet Tuesday in 2026. The world feels thinner than it used to. Have you felt it? That weird, almost staticky feeling at the edge of your vision? The hum you can't quite place, just below the threshold of hearing? I have. We all have. For months, it was just a collective weird feeling. Something we'd mention to friends who would nod nervously and change the subject. But then, the broadcast started. At first, they were subtle. Just a crawl at the bottom of the news. Report unusual atmospheric phenomena to the Global Anomaly Watch. Then it escalated. Regional alerts. Finally, the full-on emergency broadcast system takeover. That blaring tone we all dread, followed by a calm, authoritative voice. Attention citizens, this is not a test. For your safety and the safety of your community, it is imperative that you document any and all observed anomalies. Record everything. Your vigilance is our greatest defense. Record everything. That was the directive. We did, because what else could we do? We are the generation of the camera phone. Documentation is in our DNA. We pulled out our devices and pointed them at the world. The world started to look back.
Ow.
The first clips were dismissed as hoaxes, glitches, a shimmer of rainbow light hovering over a suburban backyard, like a heat haze on a cool day. A shadow in a public park that seemed to bend the wrong way, stretching and contracting independent of any light source. A sound recorded in a subway station that, when analyzed, contained a pattern no human or known animal could produce. Social media became a fire hose of the strange. Hashtags like #AnomalyWatch and #ISAW too trended globally. We became a planet of ghost hunters, of citizen scientists cataloging the impossible. We were scared, but we were also fascinated. It was the biggest mystery in human history, and we were all on the front lines, armed with nothing but our smartphones. I remember the first one I saw myself. I was making coffee. The morning sun was streaming through the kitchen window, and for a split second, the light just wobbled, like a stone had been dropped into a pond of sunlight. It was gone before I could even process it. But the next day, it happened again. This time I was ready. I fumbled for my phone, my heart hammering against my ribs, and I started recording. It was there on the screen. A tiny, flickering distortion in the air above my toaster. It looked like a digital artifact, a compression error in the fabric of reality itself. I posted it online. Within minutes, thousands of people had seen it. Some accused me of faking it, but many more shared their own footage. It's the same flickering, the same impossible wobble. In kitchens, in offices, in bedrooms, across the world, the broadcasts continued. Keep recording. Maintain a constant visual log. Do not look away. The message was always the same. It said the data we were collecting was helping them build a model to understand what was happening. To protect us, we believed them. We had to. So I kept my camera trained on the flicker in my kitchen. Days turned into a week. It became my obsession. I set up a tripod. I live-streamed it. My audience grew. We were a community watching this impossible little thing together, and we started to notice a change. At first, the flicker was transparent, almost ethereal, but the more we watched, the more we recorded, the more solid it became. It was subtle. One day it seemed to cast a faint shadow. The next it displaced the steam from my kettle. The pixels on my screen that captured it seemed to get clearer, sharper. It was as if our combined attention, our millions of lenses, were feeding it, giving it substance. My live chat was going wild. Is it bigger? Someone asked. It's not just flickering anymore. It's pulsing, another commented. They were right. The anomaly in my kitchen was developing. It began to take on a shape, not a familiar shape, nothing I could name. It was all sharp angles and impossible curves, like a 3D model that hadn't finished rendering, but it was there. It was becoming real. Then came the clip from Brazil. A woman filming a similar distortion in her living room, but hers was further along. You could see something like skin, a texture that was both reptilian and metallic, stretching over a barely visible frame. When it moved, it stuttered, as if lagging between frames of existence. She screamed on the video, and the recording cut out. The file was scrubbed from the internet within an hour, but not before it was downloaded and mirrored thousands of times. The denial was over. No. This was happening. The official story was that recording helped stabilize the phenomena, making them predictable and therefore manageable. "Your cameras are our eyes," the calm voice from the emergency broadcast said. "Through them, we can build a shield." A shield. It sounded so reassuring. But what if we weren't building a shield? What if we were forging the key? My own little anomaly was now fully opaque. It had a texture like cooled lava, and it was about the size of a cat. It didn't move much, just hovered silently. I stopped sleeping. I just watched the phone in my hand, feeling heavier every day. I was terrified of it, but I was more terrified of what would happen if I stopped recording. The broadcasts were explicit. Constant observation is crucial. A lapse in recording could lead to unpredictable spatial instability. They made it sound like we were holding back a tidal wave by staring at it. The global grid. That's what the analysts started calling it. Billions of us. Our cameras all pointed at the tiers in our world. We were a network, a distributed system of observation. Each lens a pin holding a piece of a veil in place. We thought we were observing something from another dimension, but maybe we were pulling it through. I looked at my kitchen creature. It had been weeks. It had something that looked like a head now. Turned it slowly, jerkily. Not towards me, towards my phone. It was looking at the lens. It knew I was watching. Cold dread, colder than anything I had ever felt, washed over me. We weren't just observing. We were being observed back. The change came yesterday. It was synchronized. Global. In my kitchen, the creature's skin, which had been a dull, rocky black, suddenly flashed with an internal, bioluminescent light. It no longer flickered or glitched. Its movements became fluid, deliberate. It had finished loading. It was real. My live chat exploded with panic. Everyone was reporting the same thing. The anomalies in their homes and streets were solidifying, stabilizing, coming online. I dropped my phone, the plastic clattering against the floor. For the first time in weeks, I looked at the creature with my own eyes. Without the filter of a screen, it was larger than it had appeared on camera, more detailed, more present. The air around it was cold. Then, my phone buzzed with a final emergency alert. It wasn't the calm, authoritative voice this time. It was screams, alarms. The sound of chaos. The message was fragmented, broken. The cameras are not shields. They're anchors. They're pulling them through. Stop record, the transmission cut out. Anchors, not shields. We weren't holding them back. We were reeling them in. Every photo, every video, every live stream was a thread, pulling these things from their dimension into ours. We weren't documenting an invasion. We were facilitating it. We had built the bridge and invited them across. I backed away from my kitchen, my heart a frantic drum. I ran to the window and looked outside. Up in the sky where the clouds should be, they were shimmering into existence. No longer faint distortions, but massive, colossal forms. Monstrosities that defied geometry and biology, their skin hardening into reality against the blue canvas of our sky. They were no longer flickering. And all around me, in every window of every apartment building, I could see them. The little blue lights. Billions of tiny blue lights. The telltale glow of active cameras. A global grid of lenses, all pointed up, anchoring them to our world. We were told to record everything, to not look away. We were vigilant. Now we are their harvest. We held the door open for them. Now we finally get to see what we've let in. Thanks for watching.